All right, so to cap off the show today, we are joined by one of my best friends, Roberto Passalacqua, to talk about the little things. Roberto, how are you doing today?
Good, good. How you guys?
Yeah, can't complain. Cannot complain at all. And I don't think anyone would listen.
Yeah,
if I
can't
could.
complain.
So, for anyone who's not familiar with the little things, now I want to be a little cheeky and just quote IMDB with the log line. And it basically just says, 2 cops track down a serial killer. That's obviously not much to work with in terms of getting a picture of the movie.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, that description is basically a microcosm for the entire film, because this movie was empty, it was hollow, and I felt absolutely nothing. And I don't know how much you guys agree.
Well, for me, because this was one of my most anticipated films, because I like Denzel Washington, I like Rami Malek from Mr. Robot, and I like, to a certain extent, I like Jared Leto. I think they're all talented actors. But watching this film, at certain points, I did feel the tension. I did feel what they were trying to go for. The performances were really good, if not great. Denzel is showing his age, however. I will point that out. But just overall, especially just towards the end, I got very dissatisfied. And I was just like, this has done absolutely nothing now. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel, what I'm supposed to feel. Like, just, it felt that they had a lot of different things going for them, different characters, but yet they all didn't really. It's like certain things progressed forward, but at a slow and steady. And I'm fine with slow movies, and I like that this was slow. But the fact that they had to hinder on certain moments just felt pretty. The pacing wise was off. Like, it was just off in certain areas, and just overall, it didn't feel like a complete package. So where I wanted it to be when you're giving me Denzel Washington, and I like Denzel.
So, Roberto, I know you have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah. So going back to what you were saying, Darius, especially like the ending, that just did not feel like an ending to me. Like, I don't know.
No.
There was like, I don't know if it was trying to build up to anything, but I didn't feel it. Yeah, Joe remembers too while we were watching it. I was like, was that it? Like, wasn't anything else after that? Like, I don't know. And plus two, another thing, I don't know if it had to do with the writing or like the script.
It was writing.
Yeah, the writing was just terrible. I guess Denzel Washington did all he could.
Mm-hmm.
He did all.
Yeah, I think he was definitely. I think he was the best character, or the best performance.
Yeah,
I guess throughout the entire movie. But yeah, it was just it wasn't good.
It was very.
I rather would have seen this on HBO Max than going to a movie. To be completely honest, it was like really bad.
And here's the thing too, because it's funny. Darius and I were just talking about like, the life of like the movie theater industry or whatnot. Like, I want this industry to stay alive. But when I walked out of this one, I'm like, I might get HBO Max.
Maybe not so much now. You can die.
Yeah.
I looked up the subscription cost for HBO Max when I got home from this movie. I'm like,
oh wow,
pretty bad. It was a little bit over 2 hours. Felt longer, a little bit over 2 hours, and $13 later, not worth it at all. And because here's the thing too, the performers did all that they could. But the problem was the characters just weren't there. I just didn't feel anything with those characters. This movie just gave me nothing to hold on to, nothing to get attached to. And I feel like this movie had the potential to do that considering its subject matter. And there could have been more tension there. But I just feel like, honestly, it wasn't there. If I remember correctly, I fell asleep.
Really? Yes. I actually didn't fall asleep.
I fell asleep. Yeah, no, this was kind of.
Roberto, did he really fall asleep?
I mean, I didn't pay attention to him, but he told me afterwards he did. But yeah, no, especially with what you were saying, attachment to the characters, I felt nothing. Like, I don't know, I just felt like I didn't learn enough about each individual character to grow an emotional attachment. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There just wasn't enough.
Like it was just
there.
a
Like,
very
personality-wise, everything felt like very one note, and it was just like a lot that was lacking there. Even with the plot too, like it was a little tough to understand, like what exactly. It's very weird. Walks a very strange tightrope where it's tough to understand what's going on, but at the same time, it still felt very simplistic. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing about where the story goes that reinvents the wheel, or even comes close to reinventing the wheel.
Well, I mean, I don't, because I think just in general, I'm fine with films being simple. It's just that the characters have to be engaging enough for us to want to continue watching, and I don't think the little things really did a lot of that. If anything, I know you said you liked. I believe you said Denzel was probably the best part.
Yeah,
I think he was one of them, and I actually liked Jared Leto to a certain extent. Like he creeped me out. I felt very uneasy at certain points. I do think he played it a bit too much into the role on certain occasions, but I think just overall, and it's unfortunate that Rami Malek didn't get that character's attention that he deserved. Because I think there could have been so much more they could have explored with that. And it's like, because to me, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, things are starting to change with him, but then the ending happened. I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
like you just this would have been a better short.
I can see that. I mean, going back to what you were saying, I think the actors did the best they could. With what they were given, it was just, I don't know, it was just really, really bad.
I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised that these three extremely talented actors signed on to this. Like they read the script, said, "Okay, this is the role that we're thinking of." I don't understand like why they took the roles in the first place, because from what I know from actors and actresses, they want
probably easy money. Who knows?
They want something that they.
I mean, Denzel got $20 million.
Thought that'll do it too.
Yeah.
What I understand too, like performers want something they can sink their teeth into usually, and there just was not. Again, there was just nothing there for them. Like they did the best that they could, but I don't think that these characters were worthy of the performers. I really don't. Just the biggest fault with this film is, of course, the writing. But I'm very disappointed in it overall because you had a talented cast and crew. Like for example, the cinematography. I will say the cinematography looked nice. The music was actually decent, and that's about it. You had a solid cast and crew. You had writer-director John Lee Hancock, who also did The Blind Side. He did Saving Mr. Banks. He has a decent track record behind him. So I'm disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in the cast and crew, but not so much for the movie itself because I didn't have too many expectations going into this movie. So I guess the movie, quote, met my expectations because I didn't have any.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you were saying, the best part to me about this movie was the soundtrack. And like, again, depending on the movie, that could be like a positive or a negative. You know what I mean? Like, if the movie's good and the soundtrack like complements it, then that's great. But like, if you have like a terrible movie like this one, and all you can just like, draw upon, I guess, or like all you can just recall is the soundtrack, or like, then that really says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it shouldn't make a break up.
I know, Roberto, you said the best part of the movie was your popcorn. That must have been some pretty bomb-ass popcorn.
Yeah, I did say that. That's right.
That's a direct.
Yeah, I enjoyed. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed my popcorn more than I enjoyed watching the actual movie.
Yep.
It was just
honestly, I kind of feel the same way because I was eating ice cream.
On the upside, like here's the thing, we finally got some previews, and those previews together were better than the movie itself. Like we saw some good looking ones too. We saw the Black Widow preview. We saw the Judas and the Black Messiah preview. What else was there? There was like a frontier lesbian drama called To Come that looked interesting too. And I'm like, all three of those trailers are better than the movie, which is kind of sad. So, all in all, like I said, a little bit over 2 hours, $13 later, not worth it. And here's the thing, I feel so bad.
Yeah,
I feel so bad about like saying that a movie with Denzel Washington in it is bad because I do generally like him, and I like the other two actors, Rami Malek and Jared Leto as well. I actually went online to see if there was another Denzel Washington movie I could watch that I was actually interested in because I felt so bad about saying that a movie that Denzel Washington in is bad.
Yeah, I mean, and even talking about Denzel Washington, he really showed his age, to be honest. As much as he was pretty good in the role that he was given, it was very obvious that his age was showing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes to show that you can act until a certain time, to be honest. And I think after Little Things, he should have, not because he's bad, but just because there are certain scenes where it's like, oh, he does not look good. Like, how could you just be like, yeah, he looks great, and it's like, no, this, you messed up Denzel like that, man. Disrespecting his overall look. So there are certain moments where I was like, I think certain, and it's not that he's terrible. He's not terrible. He's an amazing actor. People love him for a reason, but just that maybe take a break for a little while, especially after this movie. And it's not on him; it's on the script.
I'm not even gonna say like take a break, like maybe be like just a tiny bit more selective. And I get it, like even if you're selective,
or more selective, more selective.
You miss a shot every now and then. But even then, I looked at Darius when I invited you to go to the movies. You're like, oh, I have HBO Max. I'm gonna watch on there instead. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, my dad and I watched it. He like downloaded it, and we just watched it. So
and I found out yesterday that my brother went to his fiance's house to watch an HBO Max, and I felt like an even bigger fucking idiot. So honestly, I feel like I kind of screwed myself at this one by being a little too loyal to the movie theaters, because if the movie theater industry wants to stay alive, they're gonna have to give us a lot more than just this.
Yeah. I mean, not just the theaters, but also even Warner Media themselves. If they're going to have subscription-based service, they need to have quality content on there.
Exactly.
Netflix has a lot of hits and misses, but you know what? Those hits stand out. Mm-hmm. And that's why people stay on Netflix.
Yeah, the Netflix original films are really, really good.
Yeah.
Some of them, yeah.
No, I'm saying like the good ones. No, there's a decent amount of good movies there. I'm not saying they're all like perfect hits or anything.
Yeah.
But like you remember the good ones.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Exactly. Same thing with their series. Like probably their biggest one is Stranger Things at the moment, and people still talk about it. So
yeah.
And Witcher, which is also pretty excellent in my opinion. So
yeah. So Roberto, I'd like to thank you very much for coming on here. It was a great time.
Oh yeah,
today.
No problem.
And
had a lot of fun.
Yeah, good. I hope you had more fun today than you did watching the movie.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay, so quick question though, Joe.
Yeah.
Quick question though. You didn't like this movie. Did you like it more than New Mutants? Because I know you said you prefer the ride.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I have to give a slight edge to New Mutants. As bad as that is. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that says a lot of people. We out.
I found a little bit more to like with the New Mutants than I did with the Little Things, which again, it's.
That says a lot.
It's rough, buddy. It's rough, buddy. So, Roberto, thank you very much for coming on. I hope you come back soon. I hope that seeing the Little Things in theaters didn't scare you out of going to the theaters during times like these. And for anyone that's still watching or listening, don't forget to check us out on YouTube and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Give this video a like, subscribe, hit the bell to get all notifications, no matter what platform you're on. And hope to see you and hear from you guys next week.